Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. Last video I have explained you about the inventory control, its meaning, importance, decisions and the objectives of inventory control. These are the topics I have already explained in the last video. This is the subject operations management. Now in this video I'm going to explain you about the benefits of inventory control and what are the different costs affected in inventory control apart from that lead time. These are the concepts which are frequently asked in examination. So before starting the problems, I'll give you some 3-4 videos on theoretical concepts. Don't underestimate, don't ignore this theory, because in examination theory is also equally important along with problems. So take the screenshot of the points, then I'll explain. So last video I have explained you the meaning of the term inventory. Inventory consists of the stock of raw materials, stock of work in progress, stock of finished goods. Almost every business organization will maintain some or the other form of inventory, whether it is a manufacturing organization, trading organization, even in service sector also some inventory will be held. So it is necessary to control the inventory. Inventory should neither be excessive nor there should be shortage. If there is excessive inventory, money will be blocked, carrying cost will be more, money will be tied up, so interest on capital will be applied. Similarly, if there is shortage of inventory, we cannot be able to meet the demand of customers on time. The production will get interrupted. So it is compulsory to maintain a control on inventory. So this is what I have explained you in the last video. If you have not watched, go to the playlist of my channel, select the subject operations management. Select the video of stores management and control. Watch the first video, be clear regarding the concept. Now in this video, I'm going to explain you benefits from inventory control. So if you keep a good inventory control, what are the benefits an organization may get? So experience indicates that through a scientific control, system of inventory control, the stock can be reduced anywhere between 15% to 60%. That means if there is 10 lakh rupees of stock, almost 10 lakh, almost it is 1,50,000 to 6 lakh rupees stock we can be able to reduce if we make proper scientific control of inventory. That means a lot of inventory can be reduced. Unnecessarily we are carrying the inventory. So if proper scientific control is made on inventory, then definitely from 50 to 60% of our investment in inventory can be reduced. This is according to one of the study. An inventory reduction of 10 lakh rupees may be equivalent to a recurring saving of 2 lakh rupees per annum. And critical shortages may greatly facilitate continuous production. So one more study says, normally, if we save 10 lakh rupees on inventory, that means if we reduce the inventory by 10 lakh, the company's income may increase by 2 lakh. For example, the excessive inventory we have reduced. The excessive inventory, that means we have kept only adequate inventory, not excessive inventory. So if we reduce the inventory, we can be able to get the resources. Those resources, if we utilize, we can be able to get a recurring income of 2 lakh rupees according to one of the study. And apart from that, critical shortages may greatly be facilitated. Not even we are reducing the inventory, but also our shortages will be removed. And few more benefits of the inventory control are. This is just an experience that is normal happening on controlling the inventory. Now specifically, what are the benefits from inventory control? First one, it ensures an adequate supply of item to the customers and avoids the shortages as far as possible at the minimum cost. See, the business depends on customers. One of the objective of the business is to satisfy the customers. Whenever customer comes, we should be in a position to supply the goods to the customers. If we lose the customers, that means it's a loss to the business. Business depends on the satisfaction of the customers. So if there is a proper control on inventory, that means we can be able to satisfy the wants of the customers. And secondly, makes use of available capital in a most effective way and avoids unnecessary expenditure on high investment. See, from whichever source the business has procured the funds incur cost. For example, the business has taken a loan from bank. The business has to pay interest to bank on the loan taken. Similarly, when the business issues shares, the business has to pay dividend. The company has to pay dividend to the shareholders. That means from whichever source the business is procuring the funds, it is incurring cost. So if we do not properly utilize the funds, finance, then definitely the profitability will come down. So unnecessary blockage of funds should not be there in the inventory. More investment should not be made in the inventory. That is one of the benefits, that if we keep proper control, minimum investment will be there in inventory. Next one, takes advantage of quantity discount for bulk purchases. Normally the suppliers will give quantity discount if we make the purchases in bulk quantities. So this possibility, chance, the business can avail of getting quantity discount. Next one, serves as a buffer stock in case of delayed delivery of supplies. The supplier's delivery will not be smooth. Sometimes there will be delay in supplying, in getting the goods from the supplier. So always we should keep some buffer stock, safety stock, in order to meet the emergencies that we do not get the material on time from the supplier. Helps in minimizing the loss due to deterioration, obsolescence, damage, pilferage, etc. When we keep the inventory in the godown, in the stores, there is a possibility of deterioration, possibility of obsolescence, possibility of theft, pilferage. All these things can be reduced if we keep proper scientific method of controlling the inventory. Next one, control and minimizes accumulation and buildup of surplus stock and eliminates the dead surplus stock as far as possible. Dead stock means that stock items whose demand is very rare. The items are not fast moving items, the dead items. That means the business has the responsibility to keep the dead items as low as possible. So by keeping this inventory control, scientific inventory control, we can be able to reduce to its minimum the dead stock. So these are some of the benefits which a business will get by controlling the inventory. Now the second topic in this video is regarding the cost in inventory system. See here, whenever we analyze the inventory, we will see that every inventory incurs some cost. Some factors of cost are there which are directly related with inventory level. Some cost will increase, some cost will reduce. So if you want to analyze the inventory, we must know what are the costs involved in inventory. So here I am going to study what are the different costs. The heart of inventory analysis resides in the identification of relevant cost. The total inventory can be controlled only when you know what are the different costs which are related with inventory, right? Without understanding the nature and behavior of cost, we cannot be able to control the cost. It is observed that there are many factors whose cost affect in the size of inventory directly. Many costs are there which are related with inventory. That means if the inventory level is increased or decreased, the cost will also increase or decrease. That means there is a relationship between different costs and inventory level. Thus, for an effective inventory analysis and control of the system, one should have a clear picture about the behavior of cost associated with the different factors. These costs are as follows. So, before controlling the inventory, before managing the inventory, the person must have the knowledge about what are the different costs associated with inventory. What are the factors which drives the cost to increase or decrease along with the inventory level. The first cost is setup or ordering cost, the first type of cost. In examination, they may ask you, explain about the setup costs or ordering costs. So what is the difference between these? What are these costs? Now I am going to explain. In the production process, in a manufacturing organization, during the production process, after each production run, the organization has to incur expenditure in starting the next production run. So actually production will not be continuously done. After one run of production, the production has to be stopped and incur some expenditure. Then again the next production will start. Example, the production run will be for 100 units. So it is compulsory that after making 100 units, the production has to be stopped. Some servicing has to be done. Some oiling, etc. Different type of cost will be incurred. Then only it will be ready to start the second run. Right? So these are called setup cost. The cost incurred after every end of one production run and the starting of the next production run. Example, process setup costs in adjusting machine tools or machines, in changing or over an assembly line to a new item, etc. Different technical, activities are there. Different technical activities. After completing one production run, we have to incur some cost on different technical activities. Then we can start the next production run. This expenditure is independent of the size of the production and is known as setup cost. This expenditure incurred will not depend on the size of the production run. Whether the one production run is 100 units or 1000 units, the cost will remain same. The setup cost will remain same. Example, the servicing, oiling expenditure. Whether oiling servicing will be done after 100 units or after 1000 units, it will be same. These are called setup cost. So this cost can be reduced by planning with fewer setups of large size production run. So how a business can be able to control this setup cost? It has to plan that the production run should be as less as possible. That means production should be made in more quantities. The production run should not be only for 100 units or 500 units. The production run will be 1000 units. That means business should make one production run of 1000 units. After making 1000 units, we'll stop the activity, incur some expenditure in servicing and overhauling and oiling. Then we can start the next production. If we make 100 units production run, more setup cost we have to incur. Next comes similarly, ordering cost include order reading. Ordering means we have to place an order for the supply of material or supply of goods to the suppliers. So whenever we have to place the order, some ordering cost will be incurred. Order reading, pricing, inspection, transport, etc. These are the examples of ordering cost. More orders, more transportation cost. More number of orders, more inspection cost will incur, and these costs are related to acquisition of purchased items and getting them into stores. So first we have to place the order, receive the goods, inspect the goods, and then supply these goods to the stores where all the goods are kept. These costs incurred each time an order is placed with the supplier, starting with purchase requisition. So whenever goods are required by the production manager, it has to make a purchase requisition to the purchasing department. On the basis of this purchase requisition, the purchase manager will initiate the process of purchasing. These are called ordering cost. First cost completed, that is setup cost or ordering cost. The second cost, very important cost, is inventory carrying or holding cost. The carrying cost is the cost incurred when we keep the inventory in the godown or in the stores. If we keep more inventory in the stores, more carrying cost. If we keep less inventory in the stores, less carrying cost. Carrying cost include the rent of the premises, the insurance of the premises, the deterioration charges in electricity bill, watchmen's wages, etc. Because if we keep more inventory, more space is required. When we keep more inventory, more insurance premium we have to pay, like that. These costs are associated with the holding a given level of inventory on hand and vary with the level and length the time of inventory is held. So this holding cost and carrying cost is directly related with the amount of inventory, with the quantity of inventory. More inventory, more carrying cost. Less inventory, less carrying cost. Now, these costs include storage space cost. That means when we store the item, we have to pay the rental charges. Then similarly, interest on investment. Our money is blocked. On that blockage of money, we have to pay the cost of capital. Interest charges will be incurred. Insurance premium. Normally, in the stores, every business will take an insurance policy. Insurance premium has to be paid. These are the examples of holding or carrying cost. The larger the value of inventory, the higher will be the inventory cost, and vice versa. More inventory, more carrying cost. Less inventory, less carrying cost. So simple. Third cost, storage or stock out cost. Sorry, shortage, not storage. Shortage or stock out cost. What is this cost? These are the penalty costs associated with either a delay in meeting the demand or inability to meet it at all due to shortage of stock. Sometimes, if there is shortage of stock, there is a penalty cost or opportunity cost because we cannot be able to satisfy the demand. Similarly, we cannot be able to continue the production. That means we are losing the labor. We are losing by not utilizing the machinery. In this way, all the shortage costs are due to lack of inventory. This is called opportunity cost. If we had more inventory, we would have satisfied the customers. Now customers, we are losing the customers. We are losing the sales because we don't have the stock. Similarly, our production is stopped. Why the production is stopped? Because we don't have the inventory. We don't have the material. So these costs are called shortage cost or stock out cost. And the avoidance of these costs is the basic reason of stock are held in the first instance. Why we held the stock? What is the reason of holding the stock is this only. That means we should satisfy our customers on time. Our customers should always get the goods on time at right place. Similarly, the production should not be stopped due to lack of inventory. That is the reason why we keep the inventory. Now, these costs include lost contribution through lost sales. What is the specific amount of cost? This is the amount of lost contribution. That means we are losing our profit. Why we are losing the profit? Because we cannot be able to sell the goods to customer on time. And by the stock out, loss of future sales because customers go elsewhere. Right now, presently, not only we are losing the customer, but also in future. Because once the customer not satisfied, they will go elsewhere. A lot of competitors are there. So we are losing not only the present sales, but also the future sales. Loss of customer goodwill. Extra cost associated with the urgent replenishment of purchases. Sometimes if we don't have sufficient stock out, in that case we have to purchase from some other supplier to replenish the stock at a higher cost. We have to pay more cost to replenish because it is an urgency. So these type of costs are called stock out cost or shortage cost. Last type of cost is procurement cost. Procurement means purchase. An organization has to incur expenditure on the preparation of purchase order. There is a procedure in inventory control. Whenever the purchase has to be made, there should be a formal method how to give the purchase order. In the organizational structure, it is given that if the material are required, material requirement material requirement order should be given by the production manager to the stores manager. The stores manager has to check whether items are there or not. If there are no items, if there are very less items in the stores, the stores manager will give a requisition to the purchase manager that this material we require. On the basis of this purchase requisition, the purchase order should be placed with the supplier. These costs are related to typing and paperwork to place an order. Everything should be in writing, a written form. That means whatever purchase order is made, it should be in writing on the paper, and place an order, inviting and screening the quotations. A business organization normally will not depend only on one supplier. It will give the quotation, it will give the tender, and lot of quotations will be received. And these quotations have to be screened in order to find out which supplier can be able to supply the goods at a lower cost and good conditions. Then making efforts for supply on due date by sending reminders. Sometimes the suppliers will not supply on time. So reminders have to be given to the suppliers. All these will come under procurement cost. Contacting the supplier, and lastly on inspection of goods after receiving the supply. That means contacting the supplier, giving the reminders to the supplier, and after the goods are received, inspecting the goods and sending the goods to the stores. All these costs are called procurement costs. The last topic in this video is lead time. Whenever we require the goods or material, immediately the supplier will supply, but many times the supplier will take some time. For example, the business is located at a particular city, but the supplier stays at 500 kilometers away from that city, in another city. So whenever we make the purchase order, the supplier will take, let it be 10 days. That means 10 days time is required between placing the order and receiving the goods. This 10-day time period between placing the order and receiving the goods is called lead time. The time between ordering a replenishment of an item and actually receiving the item into the inventory is referred to as lead time. the time duration between placing an order for replenishment and then receiving the material from the supplier, this time period is called lead time. And if the lead time exists and demand is known, then it is required to place the order in advance by amount of time equal to the lead time. That means if we know how much is the lead time and how much is the usage quantity, then easily we can be able to know when we have to place the order. Example, the lead time is 10 days. Lead time is 10 days. And every day the consumption of the material is 10 units. Every day 10 units are consumed. And the lead time is 10 days. So 10 into 10, you will get 100. So whenever the quantity is 100 units, immediately we have to place the order. Because when we place the order, it will take 10 days time. So during that 10 days time, we are having sufficient material for production. The production will not be disturbed. So lead time is a very important concept. By seeing this lead time, we can be able to decide what is the reordering level, when we have to place an order to the supplier. That's it. So in this video, I have explained you about the benefits of inventory control and what are the costs involved in inventory control. Inshallah, we'll continue the next topic in the next video.